In this video, we break down the #1 habit you need to have when you organize your video editing projects. This video comes from my video editing course called Shut Up and Cut, and it's absolutely free here on YouTube. You ain't got to pay for schnikey. Let's do it. You want to organize before importing. So if I get footage, I'm not going to take the footage from the SD card and import it into the software. I want to put a step in the middle, but this other step sets you up for all the other steps down the line. There's gonna be 9, 10, 11 different problems down here if you don't do this one step. By doing this one step, you're gonna solve all these problems. And these 2 steps take maybe 10 minutes. The first step is creating your folder structure. And the second step is importing your assets into this folder structure first and then into the software second. This habit is gonna save you hours of headache. So we first need to know what a folder structure is and how to create it. This is how I set up my project file. First, I name it. I create one folder and I name it. Now inside this folder, I create a couple of folders. And all of the folders that I'm going to show you right now are the different type of assets that go into a video editing project. These are the 6 categories, the main 6 categories that everything can be filtered under. The very first folder I create is a footage folder. Now this footage folder, this is where most of your data is gonna be stored. The very next folder is my audio folder. Now, these 2 folders, your footage and audio folder, these are your most important folders. These are going to be the most expensive to recapture. After audio, I call it assets, and I know that I use assets and data, all these terms interchangeably. The assets folder is where I put all my PNGs, JPEGs, any third-party piece of data that was not footage or audio. The very next folder is our project files folder. So our project files are things like Premiere. When you save a file, it saves it into a little icon file. This icon file is going to look something like this. See this little template project? That's what it's gonna look like. And what I do is I create a project files folder, and then inside there, I create a Premiere folder, and I save this file into Premiere. The next one you have is music. Inside your music folder, this is where you put all your tracks. You download tracks, you put them in here. The last one, deliverables. This is where your exports go. So every time you go into Premiere, you hit File, Export. All of your deliverables go here, and you date every single one of them. The next step is importing your project assets into your folder structure first, and then importing those project assets from your folder structure into your video editing software. I downloaded this asset. Instead of dragging this into the Premiere Pro project immediately, what if you lose it? This is what happens. Missing media, okay? And you lose it if it's on your desktop. It's very cluttered. Your desktop will look like this when you're editing, and you have to search through all this stuff. What you need to start doing, the habit that you need to start creating after you download it, drag and drop it into your assets folder. Where's the assets folder? And then from your assets folder, right, because this is the step in between, we'll just delete that. Then drag it into your software. You can drag it to the timeline, you can do whatever you want. This one step is gonna solve 9, 10, 11 different problems that you're gonna have down the timeline when you start getting new assets. After you get your footage, audio, PNGs, graphics, assets, headshots, whatever asset, whatever piece of data is coming into your project, import that into the folder structure. Then we import that from the folder structure into the software. And so not only do you need to have good habits when importing and organizing outside of your software, but you need to have good habits and organization on the inside of your software as well. And this habit that I'm talking about is called bin structure. And so if you want to learn how you can organize your projects inside your video editing software, you can click this link right here to watch.